All right, welcome. We are gonna start building today. So this is the first live stream, and I'm super excited to do it. So it's gonna be a lot of trial and error, mostly to get this all balanced out as far as like the voice, music, all that stuff. So bear with me. If there's something wrong or if there's little changes that I can make, please let me know in the comments. We'll work on it. But as right now, I'm in the model table. I've been modeling for about 12 years. I started when I was in South Korea, and well, I shouldn't say that. I started when I was a kid, but officially from like hardcore model building, I started back in 2015. When I was a kid, I started with the Revell BF109, or no, BF10, BF110. I did the 48 scale BF110, liked it, switched over to the B17. That kit was, still a legend as far as the community goes. And then I did, when I was a kid, a machine gunner crew. But anyways, life gets in the way when you're young, sports, all that stuff. And eventually, when I got into the army, at my first duty station in South Korea, I started model building, since there was a academy dealer at the PX, and I happened to buy the American 155 millimeter anti-tank gun or artillery gun. I still have the kit. Still kind of not built. Actually, I bought two, but anyways, that's what I started with. And then ever since then, I started with Academy for the first year that I started building, because it was pretty available as far as compared to like getting Tamiya and a lot of other stuff. But then eventually I branched out, ended up going to Seoul, and there was a Tamiya store, and ever since then I've been building. So with that being said, it's kind of like how I started and everything else. But as of right now, we are going to try and build the newer F-35C Tamiya kit in 72nd scale. So we do have some 3D printed parts, and super excited for this kit because I'm a huge fan of smaller aircraft, since they're easier to handle and they don't take as much time. I do other scales as well, mostly in 72nd and 48 for aircraft. I do have some 32nd scale stuff in my stash, but those are pretty big aircraft. But anyways, we're gonna start with this today for our first stream, and then I do have like a little bonus kit off to my left here. It's another F-35, but it is the B variant. Kind of similar, but just different parts as far as the motors and how they take off and stuff. So this kit, we ended up getting the cockpit set for this kit. I don't know if it fits the Italy kit, but it might. I don't know, we could always play around with it. But here we have the basic edition. Now, from my understanding, the basic edition just comes with the tub, the seat, and then the control panel, basically. I think if they did come out with like a extra detailed one, I think it would come with like the cockpit frame and some other little bits and pieces. But this is suitable for this kit. We're not gonna go too crazy. So we got some of the wheel set here. So we got the rims and tires here, and we got the AIM 9X sidewinders. So I'm not going to go too haywire with this. So we're just going to put 4, I think, no, just 2 on the wings. I thought there was 4 on here, but anyways, we're going to do that. We could save the other 2 for maybe the other kit behind me. But yeah, so that's kind of what we got going here for the kit. So right now, I'm super excited for this, actually. Like, I absolutely love Tamiya kits. They're a classic, always will be my favorite. You know, they're just awesome. So we're just gonna take a gander at all the sprues here first, and then I'll start breaking them out of the plastic here soon. So this is mostly the wings and stuff like that. Got some landing gear. The landing gear actually looks pretty good for 72nd scale. Quite surprised. Most of the time it's just like these straight pieces and with some ribs on them. This is actually pretty nice. I mean, despite that, it's missing, like, you know, some of the hydraulic lines or whatever you guys want to call them, brake lines, you name it. But we got this looks like the tub for the bay, or the weapons bay, or no, actual landing gear, my bad, the landing gear bay. Just saying, it's pretty small for the weapons bay. And then we got, it looks like the intake, and then we got the tub for the cockpit, and then the frame for the cockpit, canopy glass, or canopy, some exterior parts for the exhaust, and the blades, and then finally we got the canopy glass. Now let's see if there's a part. Yeah, there's parting lines. There's 2. Got one running up the middle, and then one off to the side. So actually, that's supposed to be there. Just looking at the box art, I think the parting line for it is part of the actual frame. I thought it was a clear canopy, like all the way across, but I don't know. I'm just looking at the box art, so it's cool. It comes with a mask. I think there's still the cutout masks, which is fine. Maybe you don't have to cut them. I don't know. It's been a while. And we got the decal sheet. So I think we're gonna go with. I don't know if this is a Marine Corps one or both, but I think I'm gonna try to do a naval, just a Navy, because the bonus kit off my right, my left, it was a Marine Corps one. So we got the typical type tips from Tamiya here. So if you're starting off or learning how to build, I know it's kind of hard to read, you know, Japanese, but there's always ChatGPT for you to read all that stuff. But half it's all in English anyways nowadays. But the older stuff I think is mostly in Japanese. I have some good tips. We don't really need that. We need this. That's for sure. Got the instruction book. So I'm looking at about 2. Let's see how many parts. No, I'm gonna say it's probably about 300 parts. Which, you know, I mean, it's a pretty hefty kit for 72nd scale, but so we got I might do the folded, just because I like the idea of it. So we have to pay attention if we're gonna do the folded variant. We have to pay attention to the call outs. Now it's kind of crazy, but we'll figure it out here. So first variant is US Navy 1, B is Navy 2, C is Navy 3, D is Marine Corps 1, Marine then Marina. So we'll have to take a look at the decals and just double check. So this, notice choose one of the two options below. Okay, so we know we want to do folded. So therefore, if I start with folded, I would have to go to page 3 to 4, and those are my instructions to start off. So, because it's nice, it gives you the extended for each step. Make sure that you're actually no, it isn't for each step. It's just whatever's labeled. So, all right. So we got to keep note of that. We also, if I do recall, we also have to keep note of, like, for instance, Q15. I have these little nodes here. I think those are for export. Q15 depicts RCS radar cross-section enhancers, which are fixed during basic training exercises, but not in live action or in more complex exercises. It attaches to the model, make holes in the location. Okay, so we're not going to do that. We're going to make this as a true warbird. So we're not gonna have it in a training exercise, even though it's probably more commonly seen with those on, but who knows. We got the tubs, and we're really gonna pay attention here because some of the tub parts might work with the 3D printed parts. So we gotta play around with that. We're gonna test fit the hub to the main fuselage there, and then just keep on looking around. So it's interesting. It's almost like how the Great Wall Hobby F-15 was. So where the nose is kind of like a 4-part situation. Then you got the landing gear bays. I don't think this has a weapon bay. Lower fuselage. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the platform, so I would imagine it does, but I could be wrong. Maybe it needs the room for technology or whatever it is. They need room for the motor, the VTOL. No, this isn't a VTOL, so I don't know. It's interesting that it doesn't have a weapons bay. Oh. There's gotta be something to it, but anyways, still got the call for folded. Wonder how that's gonna be the paint. Got the attachment of the AM9Xs, or AIM9. I don't know why I call it AMX. So then we got the seat, real basic looking. It's fine with 72nd scale. You got the pilot, so you get the different call outs for the helmets and stuff. You got the heads up display. Got the mask, very complex mask. Interesting. Then you got the open canopy, and then you have the wheel chocks. That's funny that they give you those. It's interesting too. Too bad they don't give you the chains. They'll lock it down on the bay. Oh, we get the huge paint mask. We'll take a look at that. So then, typical for Tamiya for the newer stuff. Here's a brief history of it. see how much does this weigh? 43,000 pounds. Or no, that's max thrust. Doesn't max takeoff weight 31.7 in kilograms though, which I don't know what in pounds. So cool. This one doesn't come with RAM. Actually, it does, but no longer that that lighter gray. It's just straight gray, and that's it. Just FS call out for the main body. All right. So, anyways, we have to figure out. Well, let's take a look at this. We got to figure out what variant we're gonna do. If we're gonna do wings folded, it might tell us in here. If I can open it. Alright, so these are all decals. Just nice, it gives you a nice profile. So we got the Warhawks, Argonauts. I don't know what that is. It must be like a Spartan thing. That'd be kind of cool. I don't. So that's stationed in Japan, I would imagine. Air Station, Iwakuni. Don't know where that's at, but I'm assuming it's Japan. Then you got USS Carl Vinson, March of 23. The one up here is, does not say. We have to flip the page. Alright, so we're gonna see which is a Marine Corps. So we got Sidewinders, and that's at Naval Station Lamar. I can tell you where that's at, but then you got Miramar. Tomcat. Little heart logo. Don't really care for that. And we got E, which is Black Knights, USS Abraham Lincoln. So then that's a more colorful variant. And then you got the Thunderbolts, Commander Jet, Marine Corps, Cherry Point. So that's actually North Carolina. Yeah, Cherry Point, I think is North Carolina. It's right by it's an hour north of Fort Bragg, I think. Which would be kind of cool to do, but at the same time, I'm not a fan of like lots of color, especially if it's a warbird, you know. It's a cool subject, you know, but at the same time, it's like more of a decal thing, right? Gray's kind of hard, in my opinion. Gray's pretty hard to first off paint, and then on top of that, do decals. And the only reason why I say that is because I've been having some issues with my F-15, my Great Wall Hobby, with the decal. And, you know, I mean, I'm not a huge aircraft guy, so that's another thing. I probably have done a handful of aircraft, so I think we're gonna do the, we're gonna do a Navy bird, I think. So, I think we'll do Sawanaki, or I don't know how to say it. We'll do the Argonauts or whatever. Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong too. Sorry. So don't hate me. We're gonna do A. So the Warhawks, you know, the decal. The decal looks pretty mean right here. Gives you a little Spartan helmet and I don't know what their sword's called. What the Spartans use, but so that's that. That's actually kind of cool. I actually love how Tamiya's been putting these out with some of their newer stuff. I think it's awesome. It gives you a nice decal layout compared to like some of the older stuff, and especially like when with like some of these newer kits are coming out to be like more complex and stuff. So you know, it's a nice addition to the kit. So all right, so I'm gonna stop talking here for a second. We're gonna put all this away, and then what we're gonna do is we decide we're gonna do A. So what I'm gonna do is we got our pen here. I'm gonna put this in the corner here so I can see it. Do A. And we're gonna do folded. So we start right away at 3. So what I typically do is I build with the instructions always on the table. I do want to like get them like kind of just like elevated one time or one day, but I don't know when I'll get to it. But since we're probably going to be working on the wingtips already, so we'll through the 4, so 3 and then 4. So yeah, we're doing the wingtips already, and by the time we jump from here, I'm not gonna remember this. So with this kit having 29 and 30. 29, so we're gonna find 20 on the market, so I don't pass it up. My luck, I'm gonna end up messing it up if I don't mark it. I should do this just. I think that'll help me. Alright, so I think we just do. We just start at number 2, I guess. I don't know. So we're gonna put that right here, I think. Move the box here in a second. Put our decals away because we don't need them. We want them in a safe spot. We're probably gonna break that out here pretty soon. We're gonna start unwrapping all this stuff. Like I said, this is pretty crispy. So, I mean, it is very nicely molded. Reminds me of the bigger version of it, but I think this is newer. But very nice regardless. It's very impressive. I'm so stoked for like what model kits are gonna be like in the next 10 years or so, you know? I mean, man. So there's our wingtips. I'm assuming you just bend those up, which scares me. When you think you're gonna bend and not like glue in place, I'm making an assumption. I don't know. I'm a little concerned about that if that's the case. So here's the landing gear and the landing gear bay, which again is super stellar for 70-second scale. Like, I have a lot of 70-second scale stuff, and this is by far the best detailed kit that I've seen without having to buy like 3D aftermarket parts. very, very cool that they're starting to really push this stuff out and making the kits look really like just awesome. Then we got some of the wing tips there and wing assemblies. And then lastly, actually no, I take that back. We got 2 more bags. We got to get our knife here. Oh. And then this is the wheel bit on the landing gear bay. Sorry, it's been a long day. And we have intakes and the fan assemblies. So we got the tub. Even the tub looks okay, but we'll see what the 3D aftermarket stuff is. I kind of just like briefly glanced at that, so. So I typically just set up my kits or my screws upwards, so I can just grab and go. Let's see. That's Q. I mean, part count's looks pretty decent. Like you could probably do this easily in a. If you have a solid day, you could probably build it. So we're going to start right away with number 3 because we're doing that folded. So we have to get our tools. Always get multiple tweezers out. Get our climb point. Normally have 2. We'll have to have drill bits, I think. So we'll have some of our drill bits there. Well, I don't know what it calls for, but we'll just put those away for right now. We need glue, which we will grab. Nice fresh bottle Tamiya, extra thin. Sanding sticks. Right, so lately I've been using these. Typically use the smaller version of these, but they're from Bandai. I actually love them, but they're kind of just kind of large sanding sticks. They make the miniature ones, and I thought that's what I bought, but this time around they came in the big format. So I think they're about $8, which is pretty steep for what they are, but they're pretty nice. I like them. So we'll grab a set of little ones too, just in case. I have to find. And then we'll grab. I don't know what this brand's called, but typically like the yellow ones. The yellow ones are my favorite. Everything else I don't care for. The salmon color ones are pretty good too, but they're less aggressive. So we have the smaller versions of these guys. So we'll put those over there. We don't really need them right away just yet. And then we're going to change out our knife blade to a new one. We do a lot of trimming. Not so much sanding, but a lot of trimming. So I use a Swan Morton. Yeah, this one's Swan. Yeah, Swan Morton blades. It's actually, the system is actually by them, their hobby blade system, and I absolutely love it. I've had this knife for about 5 years now. I used to have the Tamiya knife and I don't ever use it anymore. So that was my go-to, is Tamiya for their hobby blades, but now it's Swan Morton. So, alright, we gotta jump right to it. So we gotta cut out the first part. So this is it. So number 3, we gotta be careful. Some of these parts sometimes have like screw or like little gates underneath. That's fine. Just gets annoying because then you gotta trim more. But sometimes, like yeah, right here, you'll see that there's a little lip. Without going on the outside, I typically try to get as flat as possible and do it that way. Because then it's less damage, in my opinion, to the kit, and less work I have to do later as far as cleaning up. So it's free. That's it. We can have the first sprue. That's cool. It's funny, you can, Alright, so we'll move that out of the way. Ooh, you gotta be careful because those are really pointy. I mean, not like, you're not gonna hurt yourself, but we don't want to dull down those points. If we dull them down, it's gonna look like junk later. So then, since we have to go in here, we gotta figure out all our little gates here. So I typically just go in, let the knife do the work. I don't press into the workpiece, I just have the knife do the work. That's how I do all my trimming. And then I'll go in and then I'll gently sand it if it's not really needed. I've been doing this for all my kits. It's kind of gotta be careful because, you can potentially dig into the kit. If you're gonna be careful. For the most part, I'm pretty good at it. So this is my preferred method. You don't need to do it. If you're new to scale modeling, building and stuff and everything else, don't do this. You'll gouge it and you're gonna be mad. Then what we do is go in here, sand it real quick. Now this is the part, technically you should be doing this without the knife. This is how you get the best look for your model kit. If you want to do the showing of your work, like IPMFs and stuff, this is a must. I don't really show anything. I don't care to. It's just art and a hobby. I like going to the shows though. With our hired finishing sanding stick. best to go in a circle. Then you don't have to deal with the straight lines going back and forth. So, as you can tell, not gouged. Still got the good body lines. All right, so we got that. So now we have to cut the connecting points along the center line. So why do we gotta cut? We gotta remove the sections. Why do we have to carefully? Whatever. We'll do it anyways. So there's there's a line in this, as you can tell. I'll show you here with the tweezers. There's a line right there. You gotta cut right there. So not like it matters, but I think it's just the so you got a tab that you know, if you were to actually butt up to it, you might cut into the material. I don't know. We gotta cut that off anyway, so yeah, I don't know why you would. So another thing I like to, if I'm cutting something, I tend to face the important side. This side I don't care about, because we're not showing this, right? So we care about this side. So therefore, when I cut my parts, I want to make sure that I can see what I'm cutting into and not blindly cutting, and then because I might be at an angle when I cut, and then I gouge inward, whatever the case is. So I typically just push it up against the side cutters here, and it gives me roughly a pretty flush cut, but you know, you can tell there's some material there. That's fine, we'll take care of it. So we had to do the same thing here, remove those big pieces. So if that's fit, yep. So we also have to, there's some tabs there. Those are probably guide pins for the wing assembly. I might actually do the box art for this kit. As far as like a diagram, if I could find like a good naval base or something. Again, if you're new to skin modeling or just got shaky hands or whatever the case is, I don't recommend this. Use the same stick. It takes you a little bit longer, so what? It's a hobby. It's supposed to be relaxing. Typically, I don't spend this much time on these type of parts. I'm just like, I can burn through a model kit pretty quick, but since I'm, see how like deep I'm cutting into that, but then I cut into the actual part. That's where you can actually get yourself in some danger. You quickly destroy a kit here by just, that's a fresh blade too, so I mean it's a surgical blade, so I mean they're pretty sharp. Alright, so there's our wingtips, or yeah, our folded wingtips. So we'll put those off to the side. I think this guy's all set. No, he needs to be trimmed up. So again, face my most detailed side. Sometimes I'll go out of frame. I do apologize. I've not built a kit in a long time. Been working on a lot of shelf queens lately. There we go. We'll trim it up or sand it up. You don't need to like go across the whole edge like that, because then once you remove material on that edge, you can possibly have a gap there, but most of the time it gives you enough material where you don't have to worry about it. So that's all sanded up, so we're good on that. So now we can go to step 4, since we're going to do the folded, and that calls for R19 and R20. Those are these pieces right here. So same thing, I'll grab my side cutters if I can grab them. So typically, this is another thing why I usually have the instructions out. I'll typically cut out everything that I need the next 2 pages, leave it out, trim them, sand them, and then I can just quickly attach them and then just flip over to the next sequence. So again, I just use the nippers for this. I don't really care. Alright, so that's 20. Yeah, that's 20. That's 18. Hopefully I got that right, because I didn't pay attention when it dropped. Alright, so left, it's actually labeled. Not like it. It's actually labeled, so which is nice. These I don't think I need to worry about as far as standing and all that stuff. Alright, so I would imagine that this would be, yeah, so I'm right. So they actually stay upwards like that. They just fit. Because it actually will show you on the instructions left and right. They won't tell you, but they'll show you. Alright, so like always, we dry fit our parts here. Those look pretty good. Take a little pop open the glue. Another thing, I go a little bit overkill too. Take your tweezers, tap it a few times, make sure it's set. Alright, there we go. So now, I have this right, we don't have to worry about anything else. So number 3 to 4. 4, alright. Proceed to 5, okay. So this is where, if we want that RCS on, which we don't, we're going to skip drilling the holes. And then X18 is, I believe, a bullet. X18 for my gloss. semi. It already wants you to start painting, which is like crazy. So that's what, Q18? What is Q18? Okay, so Q15, but Q18 part of the I don't know. We'll just look. Q18. Confirm the face. Where is it? There's 15. 18's up here. Again, you always want to double check because some of these wonky shaped parts, sometimes they could be molded underneath and you gotta figure out how to cut them. Not really a huge of a deal, but sometimes you can really get yourself into a pickle if you don't cut them right. Again, just trimming this off. It's a little bit too aggressive, but all right. So this must be for, yeah. So this is for the weapon system, the Gatling. That's where the tweezers come in. Get yourself a nice set of tweezers. You'll thank me later. I mean, a really nice set. All right. So always dry fit our parts. Always. Doesn't matter if it's Tamiya or Dragon, whatever. Always dry fit your parts. So with this being a exterior part, we really don't want that much glue. Accidents do happen, so we I gotta take this off. Need a little bit more glue. Too much, I think. There we go. All right. D8. D8's a new sprue. So we got, you know, it's right in front of me. So D8 is the top. So let's again inspect your part. Might be angled. This is not really that part of an angle to cut at, so it's molded flush with the angle almost. All right. So back and forth. This one, I might find this on ScaleMates, right? Or yeah, ScaleMates. So if you don't know, ScaleMates. We need the F-35C in 70-second by to me. Come on. Computer's like being really slow. So ScaleMates F-35C1 second. I want to print off the this is not to me it's not that's new, right? What? So I'm printing off alright, so I want to print off the this is for I said 72nd. So we're gonna print off the color call out sheet because then I don't have to cut into it. I mean, I don't think it matters, but at least then I got a page that I can just page back and forth and not have to worry about it. So that's 48. Does it keep on giving this? Keeps on giving me the bigger version. This kid's relatively new, so I should be able to find it real quick. So we'll print it off and then why can I not find it? Why won't you? F-35C 172nd. That's what I put in, but you won't pop up. We'll do this again. ScaleMates. It keeps on popping the 48 scale. Come on. I don't want the 48 scale. I'm telling you, I want the 72nd scale. I've been telling you that. Alright, we'll just go there. Go, what? Versus 60, so 67, 94. There we go. All time. Jeez. Download. And we will print off the first page that I want. Screenshot it. Copies it, go to Word. New document. Paste. Get this. File, print. Gotta turn on the printer. So yeah, we actually have the B variant right next to me, which is the Italy kit. Now I mentioned I'm waiting for the printer, so I mentioned that I might build this pretty soon too. I mean, it's already here. I'll pop it out. It's already 90% built. So kind of wanting to build it and maybe compare them. But this is the Italy kit. Just to me, I just reboxed it, and I think there's some like new parts and stuff to it. Nothing, you know, don't get me wrong, Italy makes some good aircraft kits, but you know, when Tamiya makes their own kit of this, I think it's gonna beat it, you know. But we will print this and then we'll go back. Always something. It's never easy for me. There's always got to be something. Well, I don't need it right away, so for some reason the printer doesn't want to print, so that's cool. All right. Oh, so number one, you just put these plates in. I'm happy that we're cutting them out. So, all right, so this gets painted, I think, in black color. Or does it? No, it's an LP color, which I don't know why they do the LP callouts. I know it's a new paint line, but at the same time, it's like their LP paints are pretty hard to find. And they're like, I've sprayed a Sherman with one of their colors, and stuff really thin, like really thin. I don't know if it was me, but I had to use like a full bottle. Look at that, we got 2 viewers. What's going on? Alright, so we'll put the mortar in there. Actually, you know what? I just want a reference photo of this real quick. I do apologize. NF35C. I don't want, yeah, I want just F35C. I want to see what I just want to see what the back looks like if I can. Images. Sure, I'll be able to see something, right? I think it's a dark gray. So, yeah, it's 33 camouflage gray, so it's a gray color. So we'll just pop it on here. It don't matter. Like that. Yeah. Just gotta make sure we figure out the gate. Okay, there we go. Like that. Why are you fighting me? Then later, fight me. So, all right. so the cockpit. So this is the fun part. So this is the most time-consuming part, I think, is building this. So got the decals. Box is empty. We'll package this. Let's fly right out. Yeah. There's the seats. And then alright, it's not gonna come out, so alright, so we are gonna get our, it's very important that you have multiples of some sprue cutters. Now I have a pair that's real junky, and then I have a pair that mostly for doing the legwork of 3D printed parts, but this one cuts metal. It's not designed for metal, designed for plastic, but I use it for cutting my wires sometimes that I do. So I gotta break this out of its home. And the only bad thing with 3D printed parts, you get these little supports and they just fling up. The detail on this is like insane. I don't know if I can see it too well, but I can't see it, so alright, there we go. So the detail on this is insane. Mind you, this is 72nd scale, so it even has the two knobs up on top there, which is cool. We'll break this out. I think once I break these out, I might call it a night. It's been really tired. We gotta be careful, otherwise, if we just rip this off, we could possibly break some of the detail. There's something that's getting held up. It's this part right here. No? My drone off. So what's... It's like, what's the hold up? So, alright. That looks pretty cool. So those are all the hands too. Alright, so another thing is I typically use these cups to hold all my little parts. So we'll probably prep all the 3D printed parts tonight. Stuff like bounces around like crazy. Break the supports. And then we will show you how small these are. So I want to cut those little like those control sticks. So we. All right, so it's important that we cut right about there. Oh, the camera's not gonna focus now. There it is. So the part that we cut right about there. Now we'll do the same thing right here. That actually came with an extra support. We'll trim that here in a second. We'll zoom back out. So we'll do the chair. This stuff flies like shrapnel. Break it by hand, you can get through it. Alright, so now it's just holy cats. Alright. I gotta hit the TV. Probably need to wear glasses for this. See, I got lucky there. So I'm getting too impatient. There's a bunch of structure in the back there that I could have ripped off. Did not know that. Even if I use the instructions, I'd probably be better off. Alright, we're gonna start chopping away. Ouch. All the supports. As you can tell, it makes a mess. We'll set this guy off to the side, and we don't want to lose these little control parts. They do get lost pretty easily because of the scale. And that's our seat. So there's that. So now we got the tub and the HUD. Our computer, whatever you want to call it. And you probably just want to read the instructions and see where you have to cut, but most of this is just support anyways. The most important thing is the side. You can, it's paper thin. You can see how thin it is. You just gotta be careful of that. But for the most part, most of this is just structure. There's no detail behind this because it's just supports. Like the chair, there was hidden detail. Don't get wrong. You know, these are 3D printed parts, so you potentially could have a part that is weak anyways, and it's going to fall apart regardless how careful you are with the forms and stuff. I've had it happen where, you know, you could be super aggressive, you know, cutting it out, and then all of a sudden, once you get it out, it breaks anyways. A lot of their, usually I'm a lot better like with nozzle kits and stuff for like the exhausts and stuff for jets, and I treat that stuff really like nice compared to like what I'm doing now to cut this out. But I, for some reason, I always get that stuff to break. I don't know what it is. I'll saw it out nicely and basically it snaps off and breaks. Look at the detail. Let's see if I can get the... Is that cool? For 72nd scale, that's impressive. You don't have to mess with photo edge for any of this. That's cool. So we'll have to clean it up a little bit, but right now we are still working on getting the... Alright, so the heads-up display. I wonder if I can... Yeah, there we go. Alright. That's out. So now like, let's see what this bottom there. Oh no. Please tell me I don't have to cut anything out. I'm gonna have to. No, I'm not. It lays flush in there. Look at that. Cool. That's so cool. Yeah, that's really neat. I know some brands you really have to play around with it. Unfortunate, but alright, so I think what I'll end up doing here is I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna get off for the night because obviously this is a mess and I don't want to sit here and clean it up on camera, but where we left off is we got the 3D printed parts off, basically where we can continue onward with the build. Maybe I might do all the priming and all that stuff off camera just to save time. I don't think I should do that on live stream unless I'm actually like physically airbrushing this all, which I don't think I'm going to. I'm not gonna airbrush it at 100%, like in all the little fine details and all that stuff, right? It'd be really annoying, mostly because my air compressor can't get that droned out. It's extremely loud, and it's annoying. It's gonna be annoying for you guys to sit here and watch it, especially if I'm priming parts. It's just unnecessary. So what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna clean this up, get ready for tomorrow, because I have some other stuff that I'd like to work on too. But for right now, I can prime this and then get it ready for tomorrow's live stream. Yeah. Oh, we gotta cut some parts. Who knew? I think we can cut that out. Cut. So you gotta cut a hole. Okay, you just drill a hole. Put those out. Cut, cut, cut. So what's it supposed to be then? 54? Dark sea gray. So the cockpit is dark sea gray. All the frame of it for the main body is black with X2, I want to say is black. No, it's white. X1's black. So it has some white. I'm looking right down here. So there's white, black, or that's semi-gloss black. And then up here you have semi-gloss black on some type of box. Then semi-gloss black here, but in the instructions for the actual tub, I don't know if those are actually molded in or not. They don't seem like it. So those don't have that unless they're behind the injection seat. No. So that doesn't have a black box, so we don't have to worry about that. We do have to worry about. We'll have to compare the actual instructions. So So this is another thing we're gonna have to, since we're dealing with the 3D printed parts, we're gonna have to sit here and cut out that stuff and then compare them and see what they're referring to, because that's more detailed. So these parts are a lot more detailed than what Tamiya gives us for the main kit. So yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. We will get everything primed for the seat, other things, because I'll look at reference photos. We'll get reference photos tonight for the seat, tub, and everything else for what I can find. Yeah, I mean, for first stream, I think it went pretty good. So hopefully, you know, if it, drawing a blank here, I'm tired. Anyways, just let me know if the sound or, my voice was too muted or the music was too loud, you name it, you let me know. I think for the most part, I kind of try to stay in frame for the, most of the time, which was pretty good from, my side of things. So, and as time goes on, it's going to get a lot better and smoother and everything else. I probably won't talk as much, but yeah, it's just kind of like we didn't really do a whole lot, but it just kind of shows you like how I build and what I do. What I do might not be what is right for everyone. It might be right for some, it might not. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. And that, it's just how I build and everything else. Everyone builds differently, and how I look at it regardless of the art. There's no wrong way of doing art. Art is art, and it's an open hobby of creation. So, with this, on the other hand, it's a little bit more precise, but at the end of the day, it's art. So, not here to tell you you're doing it wrong. I'm not here to say everything I do is right or whatever. I just do me. So if that's something that you want to see in the future, great. I mean, you're gonna see the mess ups. You're gonna see them all in real time, and how I fix them, or if I can fix them. So I mean, that's cool. Not that many people actually on here will show that. Some do, some don't. Like, I messed up this part, so hey, let's continue onward, or hey, we need to do this or that. But for the most part, everyone's great on here. So hopefully, in the future here, things change. It gets a little bit more well-oiled and runs smoothly. And then on top of that, if you have any recommendations, concerns, whatever, just hit me up, message me. I'm a pretty cool guy. So regardless, I think that will be the end of our night. We do a recap of basically what we did. We looked at the kit, the parts, everything about the kit and the plan. We cut out the main airframe, put a few parts on, cut out the 3D printed parts as far as the tub and injection feet, and then yeah, I think that's it. So what I'll do here is I'll back up, clean, and then we'll get ready for tomorrow's stream and whatnot. So like always, I appreciate everything you guys do and the views and everything. So like always, take care, keep on building. Thanks for watching.